And in Crimea, in southern Ukraine, local self-defense groups who refuse to recognize the new authorities in Kiev have taken control of 2 airports. People in the mostly Russian-speaking region say they fear an influx of ultra-nationalist squads fresh from their role in the country's recent coup. The airports, however, are continuing to operate normally. Our Igor Piskunov reports now from Crimea.
Self-guard squads out of pro-Russian supporters say that they're guarding the Crimea from a possible influx of nationalists coming from Kiev, where the new authorities, who aren't recognized here as a legitimate power, are becoming more and more right-wing. And they say that they are patrolling the key facilities here, such as the airport, and they also have the local parliament under the control to prevent and to protect the locals from these threats. In both cases, the operation of these facilities was not interrupted. The deputies were allowed inside, the flights were allowed in and out, and basically they've pretty much caused no inconvenience for the locals. In fact, people here are saying that they don't really care exactly even who these people are, as long as they protect the local population and make it possible for local facilities to operate properly. The deputies were able to work properly throughout the day. In fact, they have released the local prime minister from his duties, dispersing the government, appointed a new one known for his pro-Russian views. Another thing that the deputies have decided on is the date for a referendum here in the Republic, aimed to decide on whether it should have even more autonomy from Kiev. That has been set for May 25th, and the irony about that is that is the same day that the authorities in Kiev are planning to hold nationwide presidential elections. Now we're actually getting reports from other cities in the east of Ukraine, like Donetsk, they're now sharing these views with the Crimeans, saying that they do not support the radical approach of those who came to power in Kiev. They are strongly against any nationalist point of views and will stand for no violent ways to spread their policies around the country. So clearly the gap between the east and the west of the country is still continuing to grow, and some of the new legislation passed by those who took power in Kiev is not easing the situation. They met in the Crimea and are now building a family here. Anton's mother is Ukrainian, but all the relatives on his father's side are from Russia, while Anastasia is an ethnic Russian from Moldova. She claims to have left when her native language became oppressed.
The more languages you speak, the more you can learn and comprehend. I want my child to be able to learn all of them without any restrictions.
But the new authorities in Kiev, who have a nationalist presence among them, seem to disagree. One of the first things they did after storming to power was cancel Russian as the second official language in regions where ethnic Russians make up the majority, causing confusion even among local civil servants.
Most of the people who come here are Russian speakers. Some don't even understand Ukrainian, not to mention legal terms. How can they read and understand documents?
Surveys indicate that an absolute majority of Crimeans speak Russian as their main language. But many are now practically forced to be taught in schools, attend court, or even get medical prescriptions in Ukrainian.
Say a patient speaks only Russian. What should the doctor do? Give him a prescription in Ukrainian? Not only won't these laws work, but they'll only aggravate the situation.
Aggravation, which is hard to ignore here in the Crimea. For the past few days now, pro-Russian activists have been gathering in the center of the Crimean capital, protesting against the new authorities in Kiev and their policies, and saying they are ready to protect their national identity.
Everything that is seen as Russian in any way is under assault. So just by virtue of the need for self-defense, one can see why Crimea and other parts of eastern Ukraine are moving ever closer to Moscow.
As Kiev plans to hold a nationwide early presidential election in late May, Crimean authorities have now decided to hold a different vote on the same day, a referendum on the republic separating from Ukraine altogether. Igor Piskunov, RT, Crimea.